right, and you're listening to Real Horror Radio. We're talking about real events, real crime, real horror. And tonight we're talking about bodies. Bodies everywhere. At any given time here in the U.S., at any given time, every day, someone is dying. A handful of people are dying, and their bodies discarded, left behind, sometimes taken with the killer to be hidden somewhere, maybe buried, maybe stored somewhere where the killer would think they'd be forgotten. Maybe the killer puts them in some sort of embarrassing place, or I don't know. Bodies are found everywhere. Bodies are found in dumpsters. They're found in landfills. They're found in Walmarts. They're found in Kroger's. They're everywhere, right? Tonight we'll be talking about some bodies. Some bodies in Florida, some bodies in Houston, some bodies in the Houston, Texas area. And we're going to talk about the stories connected with those bodies. We got a bit of cases to go over tonight. First, Sarah Boone. Now, you might have heard of this case already. Sarah Boone. A Florida woman. Of course it's Florida. Why wouldn't it be Florida? She's the woman that killed her boyfriend by putting him in a suitcase. The body was found in a suitcase because it suffocated to death. The story goes like this, as reported. The man dies being zipped into a suitcase, and Sarah Boone is arrested. What's her story? Why'd she do that? Oh, we'll get into that. Anyway, Sarah Boone, 42, called authorities Monday afternoon to report that her boyfriend, 42-year-old George Torres Jr., was dead at her Winter Park home, according to the arrest affidavit. Boone said they were playing hide and seek. Hide and seek? I'm sorry. How many grown adults play hide and seek for fun? Who plays hide and seek for fun when you are an adult, right? Who does that sort of thing? Who does that? You play hide and seek when you are a kid, when you are a child, right? You don't play hide and seek when you're like 42 years old, right? Or am I wrong? I don't know. I don't know what people do anymore, I guess. But anyway, Boone claimed that they're playing hide and seek when the couple jokingly thought it would be funny if George got into the suitcase. Now, who believes that story? Who believes that is what happened, right? Right? Oh yeah, I think it'd be funny for you to get in the suitcase, man. Maybe it started off like that. Maybe it started off as a joke to get him in there, into the suitcase. Because how else do you force someone into a suitcase, right? But yeah. Okay. So George goes into the suitcase. Sarah Boone said they had been drinking alcohol that night. And she went upstairs, passed out in her bed. She woke up around 11 a.m. when her phone rang multiple times. She thought it was her boyfriend. When Boone went downstairs and didn't see her boyfriend anywhere, she realized that he was possibly still in the suitcase. Boone unzipped the suitcase and found Torres unresponsive and not breathing. So dead. He's dead. Now, when deputies responded to her 911 call, they found Torres lying by the front door near a blue suitcase. He had some small lacerations on his lip and some bruising around his eye. What kind of game of hide and seek were they playing where there's going to be bruising around the eye and lacerations on the lip? What sort of weird hide and seek game were they playing? I'm not exactly sure. But I know it has something to do with Sarah Boone wanting him to go into the suitcase on purpose. When Jorge was pleading, let me out, which we know this because Sarah Boone thought it would be a great idea, a big brain move for her to video record this whole ordeal. I don't know what it is about people today. I don't know. They want to record everything they do. They want to record everything they do, from what they eat, from when they poop, and to when they kill someone. And so she recorded this whole ordeal. And George was pleading to let her out. And what was she saying? Oh, you mean you can't breathe? Like the time you choked me? You mean you can't breathe? Huh? Big whoop. Big deal. She left him in there. She left him in there, knowing that he couldn't breathe. And she even was recorded saying, "This is for everything you've done to me." She left at it. Said, "Fuck you, stupid." Now that is pretty dumb, right? That body found in a suitcase, put in there by Sarah Boone, because it'd be fun. Now let this be a lesson to you. If your girlfriend or wife or whatever, or someone you're in a relationship with, wants you to go into a suitcase because they think it's fun, say no. Just say no. Who knows what they're gonna do, right? Come on, especially if they've been acting a little weird that day, a little off. I don't know. But already you can tell that these people, this couple probably didn't have a good head on their shoulders. I don't know. They weren't thinking rational. Hell, they were playing hide and seek. 42-year-olds playing hide and seek. Anyway, next body. Let's get into the next case here. Because what else could we say about this, right? What else? Let's see. Now this one is a doozy. This one's pretty big. I'm sure you definitely heard about this one. Ernesto Caballeiro. Now this one's not just a dead body. This is not just murder. It's a murder, suicide with a little bit of kidnapping. But where did the baby go? Now this started off in January 28, 2020, when it was reported that police were searching for a missing baby after 3 women were found dead Tuesday in a South Florida home. At that time, it was reported that investigators believed that the newborn infant is with the father, Ernesto, but they weren't immediately calling him a suspect. Not for the slangs, anyway. They were very quiet about the names, not wanting to reveal it, not wanting to reveal the names of the victims. But then news broke out, as it always does. Nearly a month after the newborn baby in Florida went missing, officials they offered a $8,000 reward to locate the baby boy, and more information broke out. The 1-week-old Andrew Caballero is missing, of course. Been missing for over a month. And who has him? Well, it's believed that Ernesto had him. Ernesto Caballero, his dad, 49 years old. But how could he have him? He was found dead in a wooded, rural area in Pasco County, Florida, a day after Andrew went missing. How does that happen? What happened there? What's the story? We'll get into that. We'll get into the thick of that. Now, first let's back up. Andrew Caballero's mother. Let's talk about her real fast. Arlette Garcia Valdez. She was feeling a little ill. She didn't want her baby to catch her illness that she had. She wanted her baby to get sick. So she left the baby. She put the baby in the care of relatives. while she was ill. Okay. That relative's house? Well, that was Ernesto's mom. That was Ernesto's mom's place. So then somehow Ernesto comes in, kills the mom, kills the grandma, kills another relative who I believe would be like an older aunt, and then the baby disappears with Ernesto. Because babies don't just disappear, right? They go somewhere. Someone picks them up. Otherwise, there's a body left behind. But this isn't this body story isn't about the baby. This is about the father. But it is worrisome that the baby went missing. But I think we can all connect the dots here. Ernesto probably did it, right? It's very likely that he did. I mean, who else could? Why? How did Ernesto end up dead in a wooden area? Far from the home in Miami. What was he doing? Was he selling the baby? Did someone make an offer he couldn't refuse and wanted to sell the baby? Because what would drive a man to kill the mother of his child, kill the grandmother, who I believe would be his mom, oh, and the great-grandmother? Oh, this gets even... Oh, man. What in the world? What got into this guy's head? What drove him to do this? I mean, in this scenario, this situation, I don't know if we'll ever really know the truth, right? Because Ernesto Caballeiro is dead. So his motivation, we could speculate on. The reasons we could speculate on. What led up to it, we could speculate. Maybe we could find additional information, but he can't talk. He's not going to be able to say anything. And it's likely if he did sell the baby, whoever was on the receiving end isn't going to say anything. In fact, it's probably just lost in the shadows. Gone. Because if the baby was with him, well, you would see a baby's body near him in the woods. But the police couldn't find that. What's also interesting, as the police, they report anyway, that they did not find any evidence. They didn't find any evidence that little Andrew was even with the father. Now, I don't know what that means exactly. I don't have the police report here. When they say they didn't find any evidence that the baby was with him, do they mean that there wasn't a car seat in the car? I mean, what? I don't know. But the baby was not there in the Miami home when the mom was killed, when the grandmother was killed, when the great-grandmother was killed. And Ernesto is believed to have done those. And then Ernesto pops up someplace much further. And 300 miles northwest of Miami. And he's dead. Yeah, there's a big story there. I'm sure there's a very convoluted story that boils down to a man driven by greed, by profit, making a very, very irrational judgment. I mean, there's monsters that walk among us. There's people that do some heinous, horrible things that walk among us, right? And this is one of the stories. Let's see. As far as bodies, we gotta talk about Texas. We gotta talk about Houston, Texas. Right, you're gonna find bodies there, most certainly. Well, not the, well, I mean, it's reasonably safe. I mean, it's much safer than other places. And in any given moment, someone could be murdered and discarded. Most certainly. So let's get into that real fast. Let's start with the, let's see. Let's go with the man that was murdered at the University of Houston. February 20th, 2020. A man was found on Thursday on a dead-end street, dead, near the University of Houston downtown. Now, who did this? How did this happen? What happened here? Right? I mean, we're gonna get into that real fast. Houston police officers were called to the block of 1600 block of Keene after someone found the man lifeless. What led to the man's demise is unclear, but Houston Police Department homicide detectives are investigating. That's all that I could find on this. I combed through social media. I couldn't find anyone talking about this man at all. At all. Normally, you could find something. With the case of Evelyn Boswell, things pop up. Everyone talks about it. But the case of a family man being knifed in Taco Bell, and I believe that was in Jacksonville. I think that might have been in Florida. People were talking about that man who was knifed to death. But this particular case, no. Could not find anyone talking about this. So I don't know who this man is. We don't know who this man is. But let me tell you something. There could be all sorts of reasons why the man was found dead in a dead-end street. Not just anywhere, a dead-end street. He was brought there to die. Right? It was probably some sort of drug deal gone bad. Some sort of exchange gone bad. Some sort of interaction gone bad. And he was shot and killed. I mean, you don't go to a dead-end street for just no reason. There's a reason why you go there. Especially this part of town. And of course, there's gang activity. I mean, Houston has lots of gang activity. You got Tango Blast, you got Texas, Mexican Mafia, you got the MS-13, the Barrio Azteca. The Houston police chief was once reported in the Houston Chronicle saying that there's over like 20,000 documented gang members in Houston, with approximately 300 in MS-13. Let's see, it's estimated that in the Gulf Coast region of the state, there's a total about 800 MS-13 members. So it's quite possible that could be gang related, right? At any time, man. Any time. And who finds the bodies? People caught in the crossfire. Everyday people, right? Casual people. It was like, what is that? I remember when Pokemon Go was released. When that game was released. Because that game required people to actually go move about, walk about, to find their virtual Pokemon, whatever. Since people were going around, walking around in places where they normally wouldn't go. Oh yeah, people were reporting, I found a dead body over here too. Yeah. But it gets worse. Of course. There's more. There's always more. There's always more. On February 19th, 2020, a man's body was recovered in Buffalo Bayou near Houston's 2nd Ward. Not a good place. According to police, the man has not been identified. His body was found in the bayou near Hirsch, just east of downtown. Houston police, homicide investigators, and a dive team on the way to the scene. They believe it's a homicide. They believe it's also gang related. Of course. Why wouldn't it be? Right? Didn't you have bodies found? Man, you got bodies found in ditches. You got bodies found in freezers. Oh, that happens. That happens more than you think. Let's talk about the body. On February 25th, 2020, it was reported that in Jefferson County, Jefferson County workers made a gruesome discovery of Bessemer on Tuesday afternoon. They found a decomposing body in a manhole. So not police, not some casual person, not some what have you, but just people just working a job, right? They found a body in a manhole. A 3100 block of Exeter Alley. The discovery was made about 3:18 p.m. Okay. The county employees in the area were doing work. The manhole was covered, and that's when they found the body. I believe it was female, but the state of decomposition was so bad they couldn't really tell. Just left there. No one knew until the workers went to go do their job in the area, and then they found a body right there. I mean, think about it. If you were to kill someone, if you were to commit murder, where would you ditch the body? Where would you put it, right? Man, all sorts of places. Last episode, we talked about a body that was found in Ohio that had no arms, had no hands, no feet. It was burned so badly. Oh, and no head either. So it had no head, no hands, no feet, and was badly burned. You cannot identify that, right? Okay. But the story pertaining to this body, I don't know. It's interesting. We know it's an older murder. We know it happened sometime because the body had time to decompose. It was in a manhole. Could it be possible that it wasn't murder? Maybe. I guess. But who would get trapped in a manhole? Like, what happens there? It seems like the body would have been stored there. Being female, I mean, who knows? It could be some sort of violent sexual assault. I mean, I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that if that was a factor. But man, that is interesting. Oh yeah, not babies. Hey Patty, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, that. As far as we know in the Florida story, or the Ernesto story, they haven't found the body. Now, if they haven't found the body, it means there's a chance, I guess, that the baby could still be alive. If the baby was sold, something must have happened, right? Ernesto was just found dead in the Woodland area. He didn't have the baby with him anymore. So what happened? I don't know. The baby went somewhere. I think next episode we could talk about murderous parties, or people die at parties, or talk about cults or weird groups that are known to have snatched kids and kind of take them forever. We'll see. We got more bodies to go over. Let's see. We talked about the body found in the University of Houston. Let's see. Oh, okay. We got to talk about the man's body that was discovered in Buffalo Bayou near. We talked about that. We talked about that one. Okay, but this one on December 21st, 2019, the body of a missing Texas mom, Heidi Broussard, has been identified, according to the AP, as a 30-year-old's body found more than 100 miles away from her hometown in Austin. So pretty far away from her hometown, right? What is she doing far away? Okay. And it was positively identified by the Harris County Institute of Forensic Science, which called her death a homicide by strangulation. Although police had a suspect in custody who has been charged with kidnapping and tampering with a corpse, by Friday evening they had not announced any murder charges. Broussard disappeared on December 12th, along with her 1-month-old daughter. So Broussard disappeared December 12th along with her 1-month-old daughter after dropping her 6-year-old son off at school. Wow. So the mom drops her 6-year-old off at school and then is gone, disappears. Now, a healthy baby that looks kind of like the missing infant was found at the same Houston house where Broussard's body was found. So the baby appears to be alive. So who killed the mom? What's happening here, right? Who does this? How does it happen so far away? So the mom drops her 6-year-old son off at school. I mean, if the hometown is Austin, she lives in the Austin area, the school would have to have been over there. But why drive over 100 miles to some other house with your baby and then be strangled? Right? That is interesting. I mean, what would drive someone to go that far? I mean, is it drug related? I mean, you could find a dealer closer to your home, right? Was she visiting someone, but she was strangled? Was she trying to meet someone on Tinder? I don't know. Was it a plenty of fish date gone bad? We don't know, right? But that's pretty. There's so much there. The puzzle over. Man. Now, being that the mom was killed in a situation like this, because what I do, what I'll go into a little bit, being that I work with the state and I do investigations. Now, we don't know much about the dad in this situation, or if there is well, we know there is a dad, right? I mean, they don't just you don't have virgin births, so you know there is a dad, but we don't know much about him, or if he's even in the picture. In this situation, the 6-year-old son, he would shortly, if the father's not there to take possession of him, to take custody of him, he will shortly find CPS in his life, because it's going to be, where is the dad, or who could watch this kid, who could provide care for this kid, who are the relatives, who could we place with? There's a lot of tinfoil caps out there who have all sorts of fears, all sorts of conspiracy theories about what CPS does. And I understand why. It's scary. But I can tell you from my experience, you always look for relatives to place with. Always look for, something other than foster care. That's the last resort. It really is. But it's still odd to me that 100 miles away from the hometown of Austin. Now, it is possible, maybe there's people get roped up into things. I worked a case. I didn't work it directly, but there was a case a colleague worked that where a mom that was borderline borderline retarded, pretty much. Mental impairments, all that stuff. Very, very deficient. She got roped into a scam where someone was providing care for her and reaping the benefits of it. Taking the money from it, SSI and all that stuff. I don't really see this being a thing. Not really. But the reason why I'm reminded of this case is because in this situation, the person who was providing care of that mom drove that mom all the way someplace else as if to kill her, but it didn't go well. So I guess the opportunity was missed, and we ended up finding the mom somewhere else. In that case, we actually had to search for the mom as much as we searched for any kids. So that was weird. That's why this one, it's like it seems familiar in a weird way, but it's not the same thing. Oh, let's see. What are the bodies we got here? Add a list. I might have went through the list already. Florida bodies, Houston bodies. Didn't think it would be so quick. Wow, look at that. Much shorter episode tonight of Real Horror Radio. Now for the next episode, I'm thinking of either doing, because I'm aware of the report in Russia where a woman had a party and 3 of the partygoers end up dying. They just end up dying. I'll get into that in another episode. But I talk about that, talk about gang activity, and you know what? Since I talked about gang activity a little bit in the Houston area, go into more detail about that. I'll talk about more missing kids, groups out there that seem to just abduct kids. Yeah. I mean, if I were to type right now, body found in blank, you're going to find something. That's how crazy this is. Body found in Walmart. And yeah, there's bodies found in Walmart. And not too long ago. Pretty recent, actually. 2 weeks ago. As early as 2 weeks ago. Wow. Let's go take a look at that. So bodies found inside Forsyth Walmart bathroom. Okay, Walmart bathroom. What is it, like an OD? What happened here? In Forsyth, Georgia. Forsyth police found investigating a body found inside the bathroom of Walmart. Okay. It's not clear if foul play is a factor, but the body will be sent to Georgia. We'll be testing it. Okay. But this is not the only one. Hell, not too long ago, there was a body found in a Walmart in Florida. And then there was a body found in a Wendy's, in a Wendy's freezer. You know? It's like... and then there's bodies found, besides dumpsters. Like, they find bodies all sorts of places. Hell, if you live in a state, an area that has a bad opioid... I can't speak right now. Bad epidemic, people ODing. Yeah, I'm sure you're going to find all sorts of stuff, all sorts of bodies. It's pretty dark, pretty grim out there. I know, I hear the same thing you guys hear, that the murder rate's going, homicide rate is dropping in some areas, and that's true. It does seem to be the case. It does change the fact that at any given time here in America, here in the U.S., someone is getting killed and their body being ditched somewhere. All right. I think we'll wrap this up here. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Real Hard Radio. You have a good one.